Welcome, everyone. We are the Uneducated Gamers podcast presented by GalaxyGameTV.com. And in today's episode, we are going to talk about one of the latest announcements that just came out, kind of blew its way through the internet. The announcement of Witcher 4 and some of the juicy information around that. And then we're going to shift gears, and something I wanted to kind of talk about and poke at today and is Xbox Game Pass, and really kind of breaking that down and kind of figuring out, it's crazy that it's close to $6,500 in value. But we will also give you some of our most uneducated thoughts around that. Joe, how are you doing, buddy?
Good, man. How are you?
I am great.
Fantastic. It is very nice to be talking to you with the sun still up. I don't think we've ever done this thing like outside of daylight savings time.
You're right. We haven't.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
And maybe one of these days, if somebody decides they want to sponsor some of this uneducated nonsense, we might be doing them like during the day more often.
One of these days.
Maybe.
And then I could put more than like 20 minutes worth of like read an article of of prep into this instead of just walking into it and be like, what are we talking about? All right.
Oh, man.
But
so
I'm honest.
Hey, you know what? A lot of the stuff that we talk about, though, to be fair, we chat about
Quite a bit.
over time.
Oh,
so
yeah, we do.
It's not necessarily just 20 minutes.
No, but it is like the epitome of the internet, where it's just like, ooh, you have an opinion about something you just found out about? Awesome.
So by the time you are listening to this, whether it's, it'll be Witcher 4 might be out by the time you listen to this, depending on what listener you are.
That's true.
But we got the announcement this week. So for folks who listen to this when it comes out, was last week. The next Witcher was announced.
Yes.
Witcher 4. And it was, well, actually, it's The Witcher, A New Saga Begins.
It's not going to be called The Witcher 4, which has been confirmed, which, you know, we're going to say witch a lot, I think. Whatever. But I do hear, one of the big things, though, is I hear that it's not going to be Geralt as the main protagonist.
Yeah.
That's been that rumor just like flying around. I don't know if there's any validity to it, but.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, it's announced. The partnership was announced with, before I start to gag, Epic Games. But
what's wrong with Epic Games?
I got some comments around Epic Games, but let's first talk about the good
trying to
stuff.
make a hole for themselves in the world any way they can.
I guess, yeah, sure. But yeah, so basically, it's at this point the game doesn't have any sort of information around it, right? It's just saying that we're going to be doing a new Witcher, and
basically.
it's going to be in a partnership with Epic Games, and that's it. I mean, that's basically the end of it. Except they are ditching the Red Engine and going to Unreal 5.
Now, how surprising is that for you? Because that was very surprising for me.
So, if you remember episode 6, when we had the Game Awards special, we talked about, or at least I talked about, Unreal Engine as it's the next generation of gaming for.
Because it is the newest one.
It What I'm talking about is, okay, for those who may not have heard that episode, but I think most people saw the Matrix Awakens Unreal 5 demo.
Yes.
And, really, some of the things that demo kind of showcased are a lot of the sort of types of types of environments and types of gameplay that really, let's be honest, CD Projekt Red has been gravitating to, right? With The Witcher 3,
Sure.
with
Gigantic open worlds,
with Cyberpunk, and the Unreal Engine, on all intents and purposes, is an amazing, powerful tool that just can allow development teams to rapidly do some of the stuff that they struggle with. Clearly, like if you look at Cyberpunk, they struggled with it.
Yeah, because that was their own engine,
right?
And they're just kind of making it up as they went too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when, again, if you remember one of the things I talked about, it's like, look, if they're given a rapid development tool that allows them to do AAA titles like in that, meaning the base architecture of what they want to build, and all they have to do is develop the story and develop their own skin around these elements, that's half the battle for most of these development studios, even big ones like CD Projekt Red.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's just going to streamline everything. I mean, it should streamline everything. You know, everybody's kind of still got a bad taste in their mouth about CD Projekt Red from, Cyberpunk 2077, which, that's just never going to die.
No, because they continue to improve it, and I'll be honest, it's getting much better.
Well, sure. I mean, the only place to go was up. It's, you set that bar so low you could do anything, and it's just like, wow, good, congratulations, guys, you really tried on this one.
Yeah, but, I mean, I don't know, because there's just some places or some companies that just can't, they just don't get it, right? I mean,
sure.
Bethesda.
Yes. Well, Bethesda they got their money train with Skyrim, and they've just been milking that ever since,
Come on, ride the train. To ride it.
Yeah, that's it. I can't look you in the eye when you do that. You get man. Oddly sexual when you dance in your chair.
I don't know how to take that, but I guess
whatever way you want. I don't care. Think about it tonight when you're going to bed.
Well, okay, so I think there's a lot of good things to come out of the little information that we have, right? So
far,
regardless of my view of Epic Games does, they have a good a delivery
platform.
They got a decent delivery channel.
They do.
And honestly, Epic Games got the money to spend, right? Like
just throw money at it. That's what they do for everything. Just throw money at it.
Yeah.
I don't know how sustainable it's going to be, because they still haven't really caught on as far as I'm concerned. Nobody I talk to is like, yeah, I'm going to go to the Epic Games Store and start playing games. It's always just Steam. I
mean, the only reason why I load up the Epic Games Store is to play Magic Arena.
Sure. Or to get those free games, because aren't they still pumping out free games?
Yeah, once in a while. But keep in mind, right, like Epic Games and Unreal Engine, they have a big partnership too. And so the whole partnership thing makes a lot of sense to me.
Sure. I'm curious to see like what the actual partnership is with CD Projekt Red and Epic, like, because they've already stated that right off the bat that the new Witcher game is going to be, not in one store. So that means it's probably going to be in Steam too. It's going to be on multiple platforms. It's going to be on Epic. It's going to be in Steam. It's just like, okay, so what is Epic getting out of this?
Well, they will likely get a really big name game.
Well, yeah.
To be on the Unreal 5.
Yes. Right. So do I just fundamentally not understand the relationship between Unreal 5 and Epic. Like, how intertwined are they?
They are, I think one is parent to the other.
Okay.
Let me double check that. Let me check my knowledge here. If I remember correctly, because they were the ones that I think Epic Games is the one that developed Unreal Engine, because they.
What? Really?
Yep. Yeah, they are actually.
No shit. Okay. Well, then that partnership kind of makes more sense then.
So, but I think now Unreal Engine broke off to its own company, and so I think it's still a subsidiary of Epic Games, though. Yeah.
Okay.
So no. No, it's actually not its own company. It's still owned and ran by Epic Games.
So that means that they're probably just going to get money off the top of a percentage off of every game sold, because they're using the Unreal 5 engine.
Well, I think there's a co-partnership here, right?
Yeah.
I think there is a partnership in development, right? And then a co-partnership in distribution.
Okay. Yeah, a little symbiotic partnership there.
Because if you think about it, right? Epic Games, their distribution channel is not just Epic Games, right? Like, so they do have Epic Games. Did you know that Gears of War was Epic Games? I didn't realize that.
Well, Gears of War has always been Unreal Engine, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. So they are I did not realize that Epic Games was also the development arm for Xbox Studios and Gears of War. That makes sense, though. You're right.
Makes sense, yeah. I mean, they've always been around that. So I just didn't realize that the company Epic Games, because I didn't really know about them, until they brought out the store.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't realize that they were the same entity. So, the more you know.
Yeah, and here's the other thing too, right? Like, Epic Games, I think, is also part. Oh no, so they owned Tencent for a while, and now they don't.
Well, they probably got many billions of dollars for that one.
And then there's Fortnite.
Everybody loves Fortnite. Did you hear that they're making a game mode now where there's no forts? Now it's just night. I'm not joking. It's it's a real thing. Like, they're legitimately having a game mode where it's just like no building, just fucking last man standing. It's been kind of a meme on Reddit for like a week now, but everybody's just kind of like, yeah, well, maybe I'll go try Fortnite now, because like apparently like you either love the building aspect of it or you fucking hate it. And I think I've never played Fortnite, but I think I would fucking hate it. So
I have a hard time playing Fortnite, I'll tell you.
Is it because of the building?
It is.
Okay, well, there you go. Now maybe Fortnite's the game for you at this point.
I just can't wrap my head around the game concept. And I think because I came in so late to the party to trying out Fortnite, that I was just like, meaning like once I got on the server, like people were probably yelling at me like, "Go do that! Don't go do that, you dummy!"
Yeah, you dummy. That's what they were saying to you.
Yeah,
you dummy.
You beep 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 beep.
Yeah. You motherfucker. You ruined my day because you got in my way. I'll tell you, man. I love fucking, online games when you're like competing with people and everything like that. But man, the older I get, the more I'm just like, I don't think I want to deal with that anymore. Like, Holly and I, we were playing Overwatch over the weekend on PC, and it wasn't even competitive games. It wasn't even quick match games. It was fucking just like arcade, like Total Mayhem and then like Mystery Heroes. I swear to God, man, every fucking game we got into, if we won, the other team was just like, you guys fucking suck. why are you guys even playing this game? And we're just like, GG. Like, we're not even assholes about it. We're just like, GG. It doesn't matter if we won. Doesn't matter if we lost. We just say GG no matter what, because that's what you do, because we have fucking manners. And no matter what, we got the shittiest fucking returns off everything. And we're just like, is it us? Are we doing something wrong? Like, people are assholes, man. Like, I am kind of over it. I'm really enjoying my time in single player games, to be honest with you, nowadays.
Yeah, I think competitive multiplayer has really destroyed multiplayer for the casual individual.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'll be honest with you. That's my hot take.
Hot take. Yeah. Competitive multiplayer, not great for your brain.
So, this new Witcher.
Yes, back to Witcher. Sorry.
Let's move on into some speculation really quick. First off, yes. The game is definitely going to be pretty, right?
It's going to be the ugliest game they've ever come out with. No, it'll be pretty. It'll be fine. Their art direction's always really good.
Yeah.
Never any qualms with that. It's always just been QA, with them. So
speculation, give me a year on when you think this game will release. Hold on. First, actually, let me rephrase that.
Sure.
When we will hear the first thing about this game, meaning see just even a trailer like or some sort. Yeah. And then what year? We'll say month and year we'll hear that and a release.
I would say so they've probably been working on this thing since 2020. Early 2020. That's kind of the rumor that's been going around. So they've already got a year, but it's a COVID year. Oh no, it's 2022, isn't it? Shit. Fuck. It is 2022, isn't it?
And keep in mind, Unreal Engine didn't release until earlier this year.
Yeah, but I mean, they've been throwing up beta and everything like that. I mean, it's not like they were just like, oh, we're talking about it. You can't touch it. Of course, they're going to partner with them. They're going to give it to them.
So wait. So are you speculating that they were already working on Unreal Engine ahead of Unreal Engine 5 and ahead of this announcement?
I think that they probably have been. I mean, you don't court a game franchise like The Witcher that is still extraordinarily lucrative. I mean, it's like, the game still feels like it's new, in some aspects. I mean, they're about to remaster it too, from what I've heard, or they just did something like that. But I mean, it's kind of perennial. It's in all honesty, it's CD Projekt Red's Skyrim at this point. It's just it's not to say Skyrim's a great game, because it's not, but The Witcher 3 actually is.
I mean, it's the better Skyrim in my opinion.
Witcher 3? Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, it's hands down a better game in general. But I guess we don't need to compare the two, because they are kind of in the same genre, but it's different. But I think they've been working on it for 2 years. They might not have had direct access to Unreal Engine 5, but they probably had enough access to see where it was going enough, and probably started building in Unreal 4 and are just going to patch it over. And then just like start building greater assets off of that. But I don't know if they've been working on it for 2 years now. I'd say we'd probably see a trailer May next year, maybe. Give it another full year to bake, and then probably after that, maybe one more year till it's released.
Wow. So
I think this one's gonna go pretty fast.
You think so?
I do, because when you move away from your own engine that gave you so much shit, and I think they're kind of clamoring for a win right now too, because of the fallout of 2077. Even though they are about to come out with an expansion pack for that, by the way.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think they need to rush this, because I think fans of the Witcher series will like to see something more finished than just being like, oh yeah, we got to get this out the door just so you guys have something, so you kind of forget about some other shit, so we can be back in your good graces and whatnot. But I mean, like, nobody's looking for anything like that anymore, especially when you have, games coming out even recently that are just like Elden Ring. It's got its problems, but that is a complete fucking game from the get-go. I mean, you're talking like some frame rate drops and like maybe a couple of crashes versus like, do you remember what Witcher 3 was like when it first came out?
So full disclosure, I didn't play Witcher 3 until Blood and Wine came out.
Okay. Well, it was pretty damn buggy. I mean,
Okay.
it wasn't quite cyberpunk levels of buggy, but it was like it was like, holy shit, this is kind of funny buggy. Whereas cyberpunk was just like, this is enraging buggy. So they don't have a great track record of releasing like, hey, games that don't feel like they should still be in beta.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not expecting them to stop that now. So I think they will try to push this out sooner than later. So I'm thinking, 2 years from now, we'll probably have it in our hands. What about you?
Wow. So I think it's going to be 2024 until we get a trailer.
That long?
So I'm thinking it'll probably be, well, maybe like, like Christmas time 2023 into 2024.
Start getting that hype going.
Yeah. And then I think they will then release for the following holiday season in 2025.
Yeah. God, it's so weird to think 2025 is only a couple years away.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're following the Star Trek timeline. We're in for some riots.
I mean, and the reason why I think that is they have their staff split right now. Now, I guess
yes.
It really does depend on how much this partnership gains them in development arms on the back end of this partnership with Epic Games. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously that's not disclosed and we probably won't know ever, but I think it really depends on that. And if it's just that Epic Games is helping on funding and consulting on using the engine in the proper way, mm-hmm. then I think it's going to be a longer tail for development. If Epic Games is coming on and helping them strong arm the development and bootstrap their development efforts, then I think it could be more on your end of the spectrum when it comes to timing, because then that really, that right now Epic Games, as far as we're aware of, doesn't have any active development going on in any games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we have no idea. I mean, unless something comes out, but
nothing's announced.
True. I think that they're gonna finish up this X Pack for 2077. They'll probably have a smaller team work on QA and bug fixes, and then another sub team just working on another patch, or not a patch, but another expansion, because they'll probably put out like at least 2. Because that seems about right for them. That's because they only put out like 2 for Witcher 3, I think.
Yeah, and that's always been the plan for Cyberpunk, was 2 major releases,
right?
That they consider the same size as what they did for The Witcher.
Right, and Blood and Wine was a gigantic X-Pack for Witcher 3. I mean, that was like basically the size of the base game. Yeah. It was essentially like The Witcher 3.5. So, we'll see. They'll probably be as ambitious with that as far as like 2077 is concerned. I can't see them just like ditching it, because I mean, it is a passion project for a lot of them. It's not something they're just going to want to be like, all right, cool, well, we tried, and we're just going to go away now.
And The Witcher technically is not new IP for them. Now they'll be building a new engine, but The Witcher is something they're familiar with, and it's a type of game that they are familiar on putting together.
Sure. I mean, it's treaded ground for them. it's I think the hard part is going to be coming up with a story because if they're taking away Geralt as the protagonist, I have not read the books. I don't know. All I do know about him is that Geralt's the protagonist in all of them. There's other characters, but it's just like he's always the focus. He's always like the reader's character. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what they're going to do with it. I mean, it's the game development is being led by the guy that did the Gwent standalone game. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the dude's name, but we'll just have to see. I don't know. I'm pleasantly surprised. Was not expecting that news, to be honest with you. I saw the poster for it with the Witcher symbol in the snow, and I was just like, oh, what did they tease in season 3 of the Netflix show? I was like, is that fan art? And they're just like, oh shit, new Witcher game. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think one of the things that I'm sort of just excited to see is a new adventure. Like Geralt was 3 games, right?
Sure.
Again, full disclosure, I didn't start the Witcher series until Witcher 3 came out, and I was like, oh, this is pretty sweet. And then I went to go I went back and played Witcher 1. Witcher 1 was okay. It wasn't amazing, but it allowed me to understand more of the Witcher lore, right?
Mm-hmm. It's pretty deep.
And I actually really enjoyed Witcher 2. So I was kind of surprised that I on Witcher 2, and it wasn't super terrible from my perspective.
Sure.
But Witcher 3 was like leaps and bounds by far the best of the 3 in spades. Like it was like it's
just so modern. I mean, It still feels modern. The other games. I mean, it's like this might be a bad reference for you, but it's the difference between Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 1 is just like, it's almost like a dungeon crawler, like D&D or what is a D&D game? What's the game I'm thinking about? Is that Ultima? No.
Well, Ultima had D&D rules behind it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. Oh, God, what was Baldur's Gate 3? That's what I'm thinking of. It kind of played like that, not the same camera angle and stuff. But then you go to number 2, Guild Wars 2, and it's just like, holy shit, this is like action combat. It's like a night and day difference, and that's kind of what the Witcher games felt like. And it's just like, well, one of these feels better than the others because I'm coming into the more modern game first, so it's just hard to play the other ones. The difference between Fallout and Fallout 3.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. So yeah, I mean, big differences, when you change the camera perspective, but
yeah.
So
again, we talked extensively about Unreal Engine 5 when the Matrix thing came out, and I know you were very like, yeah, it was pretty, it was fine, and the graphics were good.
Sure.
But if you think about the Witcher game, and if you can just imagine the type of fluidity and really high fidelity Witcher game, if we just took Witcher 3 and made it in that way, like I think the possibilities are freaking amazing.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's when you're
like, I think it's sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
But I think it's going to be a leap, just like from Witcher 1 to Witcher 3.
I agree. I think it might be. I think the reason why those games feel so different is how you control them.
Yeah.
That is the major difference. Like graphically, it's fine. I don't care. It's like if you're going to give Unreal Engine to Nintendo, you would never know it's made in Unreal Engine. It's one of those things, but it's just because they have a very distinct art style for a lot of their games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, like if you're gonna be playing a game like The Witcher, and it's gonna be like, look, we are leaning into Unreal Engine 5. this is going to be like as detailed as possible, you know, as you could possibly handle with the current generation software. You know, it's going to be interesting. It'll be fun, you know, and it's also a little different too because you know you have the TV show going along with it, and you have kind of more of like a, I'm not gonna say like realistic look, but I mean like, you know, something like that you feel like you could touch, and then if you all of a sudden you're gonna play the newest iteration and it's, you know, feels more tactile and a little bit more realistic, it's just gonna immerse you more into it. You know, it's not a Zelda game, you know what I mean?
Yep. So you're
Yeah.
here to. So we'll wait and hear more about this. We'll obviously revisit this as more information comes out. Hopefully we still have a podcast by then.
We'll see. You watch your ass.
But you know, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on this and keep a pulse. I think it'll be a fun thing to watch, to see progress for sure.
Oh, for sure. It'll be interesting. And then I can't wait to see the bugs that come out of it.
Yeah.
That's always going to be the best.
So moving on to this next topic, and really I want this to be more of an active conversation, as we like to try to have on this podcast, and that's around Xbox Game Pass.
I will do my best.
Joe, I want an open, honest conversation with you.
We have an open relationship.
I can openly hate everything that you say. What? No, but
I don't hate everything you say. You just got to stop saying stupid things.
So the Xbox Game Pass has seen a lot of evolution over the years. A very slow churn of it too. I even feel like Game Pass, even though it's been hitting some high notes lately, I think it's just revving up in 2022.
Okay.
Because some of the stuff that is just getting added to the Game Pass, and I want to throw some figures out to you, because this is what, from somebody who I subscribe to Game Pass Ultimate, I happily subscribe to it and don't even think about it, right?
Yeah.
And here's some interesting stats. Xbox Game Pass, if you bought all the games that were on Game Pass today to play on the Xbox, you would probably spend about $6,500.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a decent amount of money.
I pay $15 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
So paying $1,500 a month. Let's get the little calculator out really quick. I didn't have this.
Hold on, I can't do math in my head. 15 times 12. Oh, I did it wrong. I did 23. Oh no. No, I did minus. Okay, I can't see in the dark. All right, so go ahead.
So 180 per year, right?
Yes.
All right. So divided by 6,500.
Mm-hmm.
That's say 36 years.
Okay.
Okay. So 36 years of Game Pass is where you pay into your, meaning you as an individual would pay to the value of that, right?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. That's a very arbitrary way to think about it. But let me flip it on another coin. Every month, they generally add about $500 to $600 worth of games. That's including the stuff that they quietly, drop off the platform, which is usually like 2 to 3 games. So we subtract about $100, $150 of value. So in reality, every month they're adding about $500 of value per month. Again, still, for me to think about this, if I was I'm not a hardcore gamer. I'm a casual flyby gamer. I'll play games, and I will potentially it'll sit on my shelf, right?
Sure.
If you saw,
we're adults. We got stuff to do.
Exactly. So if you look at my shelf, I got like too many games on my shelf. My wife's just like, yeah. Are you gonna play these? But
I got boxes of games.
Yeah. She doesn't actually say that, but I know she's thinking that.
Right. She's like, can we throw this away? Do you still need this?
Yeah. So yes, I haven't played that yet. Wait, what? You've had it for 5 years and you haven't played it yet? No, but so anyways, but here's the thing that I found very interesting about my play patterns now, right? With the Game Pass, I'm installing more games often and checking them out and playing them. You know, it takes...
they're in front of you.
Right. It takes two. There's a couple other games that I never even heard of. Like there's this game called Children of Morta. Dude, that game is freaking awesome.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
And so there's just, I guess what I'm getting at is, there's a new one that got released in February called Lake, which is very interesting. But either way, right? There's just so many like games that get added to Game Pass that just allow, as a casual gamer, or even people who just want to complete games as well, can just jump in and get a bunch of games. And it's all for one price. Now, what I find interesting about myself is I am very much of, I want to have the physical piece of game that I could put in my thing, because again, we've seen it time and time again. This digital age of video games is really tough, because once a license runs out, the game could just disappear out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's just like Amazon buying a movie off, buying any sort of digital content anywhere. You don't actually own any of it.
Right.
You know, it's just, you might have the illusion of ownership right now until Amazon's just like, you know what, by the way, we're not doing James Bond anymore.
Right.
You know?
So I've been finding myself jumping in and out of games quite often. And I've been playing more of these Game Pass games lately than the games that I own in physical copies.
Is this kind of turned into like the same thing as like, we have tons of DVDs and Blu-rays, you know, from back in the heyday of that. And like, you know, if that movie's on streaming, I'm going to watch it. If it's not, I'm not going to dig out the DVD and watch it. Is that kind of the same idea here?
Kind of. I think when I game now, I have maybe a certain period of time, maybe an hour, maybe two.
Sure.
I rarely have 3 to 5 hours to put into a game in a single sitting. I have children. These children want to play their own video games.
Right.
So that's where like things like this kind of work, because it just helps me jump in. Here's the other thing too: sports games. Now that like, shut up. So, shut up.
You go ahead, finish your thought.
You gonna let me talk? Let me know when you're done.
I'm done. I promise I'm done. Do it. Go ahead. I'm not joking. Do it. Try it.
So.
Yeah. See who's been sure
okay.
now.
All right. Fine. No. So basically, you know, I kind of got tired of buying the same Madden game every year, because they don't change.
It's the same game.
Right. But I'm a stickler, because I'm like, I want the latest fucking roster. That's what I want to play, is the latest roster. I don't want to play, you know, Johnny Come Lately that sucked 2 years ago. I want to play the roster that I see this year, right?
Johnny Come Lately. Okay. All right. Just hike up your pants, Fritz.
So basically, get off my lawn. But so, you know, it's great. So last year was the first year that the Sony baseball game came to Xbox, and that was MLB The Show. It's always been a PlayStation exclusive, and it came to Xbox last year. And the new one is coming to Xbox this year. With the addition of EA Play with Xbox Ultimate, that gives you access to FIFA, to Madden to NHL, all the sports games that I play, but I play them casually. Like I'm not like a hardcore Madden player, right? I just like to play Madden once in a while, right?
Sure.
So I think of it this way, right? Like first off, I have not, ever since getting the new Xbox, I've not had a desire to buy any of the new ones because guess what? I could download it on Game Pass. That in itself every year was $300 for me to buy the updated sports games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the difference too of like how I don't want to go to a movie theater anymore. I don't need to. It's everything's streaming.
Right.
It's $15 a month, and I don't have to hear any other people yelling during the movie.
So I guess where I'm getting at, and I've been on my soapbox for a little bit, so I'll let you talk here in a minute. But basically what I'm getting at is I'm really starting to kind of turn the coin on sort of the games as a service perspective. Like this is something that I didn't think that I would do in like this early on in my owning a new generation Xbox. But I'll say like I'm sort of turning that corner a little bit.
I never thought you were against it. You never kind of gave me that that feeling. Like every single time you talked about it, you're just like, this is pretty cool. And I was like, all right, interesting. I'm still gonna go play Dark Souls 3 and not mess with it. And you're like, there's games on here. I'm like, I know, that's cool. And I was like, $6,500 worth of games on here. I'm like, it's still cool. Nothing wrong with it. But I mean, I don't particularly like the games as a service still. I mean, like, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, if I want to go try something, like if I want to go play like Among Us or something like that, which I can tell you how many times I've said that out loud and also acted on it, has been like once. I could see the Game Pass coming in handy there and just getting people together and doing shit. But like, I don't like the idea of getting into something and then all of a sudden being like, oh, it's just not there anymore. I don't like that. That's one of the reasons why I kind of got out of WoW, because it's like when you start paying for something like that, when something isn't going to be permanent, then all of a sudden you feel like you need to dump more time into it because you feel like you've lost value if you don't, try to get the most out of something like that. It's like, look, if I'm going to pick up a game for like $5 on Steam because it's on sale, it's like, I know still, just with my previous comment, I'd be like, hey, if it's digital, you don't actually own it.
Sure.
Never lost a game on Steam, stuff like that. Doesn't mean it can't happen and whatnot. But it's just like, look, I paid $5 for it. I don't have to worry about it going away. It's like, I'll play it when I want to play it. If I don't ever get to it, I don't fucking care. It's fine. It's not that big of a deal. But like, I don't feel that stress of being like, oh shit, I really enjoy playing this. God, I hope it doesn't go off next month. And granted, I know, don't they do something on the Game Pass now where it's just like, if you have the Game Pass and you were playing that game, like you could buy it like a discounted rate or something like that. It's like for permanent. Is there something like that?
No, so there's still Xbox Gold, and I know so they will put games on sale for that. One of the things though, well, before I get into that, I'll leave my answer at that. So basically, there's the one of the things. Well, okay, actually, so yeah, so in Game Pass, they'll run specials on games where you'll get it at a special discounted rate to buy the game if you want digitally, and that's how I've purchased. I had the first Tomb Raider on PlayStation 3. But I actually ended up just buying all of them on the Xbox. I think it was like for $20 for all three of them.
Sure.
And to me, that was like tremendous value. I'm like, yeah, so what? I own Tomb Raider 1 on or is it PS4? I think. I own it on that. But to me, the $20 for all three games, that was like well worth it.
Sure. I mean, I get that, especially because it's a convenience factor too of just being able to play on the platform you want to play on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
So let me play devil advocate for a second. And let's just say, one of the things that they've been really, really good about these days is especially games that are popular and are well downloaded in the Xbox Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Like games will stay static for a long time.
Sure, it's not like they're being flipped out every like week,
Yeah. Like PlayStation was so bad at that. Like it was like once a month you get like you'd get 3 new games and 6 would fall off. It's like what? Mm-hmm. That's no value. But so one of the things that I feel like Xbox has done a lot is with the Game Pass is games have stayed much, much longer. So for instance, Control is even still on there, and that Control was added back in July of last year, I think. Mm-hmm. So like they have definitely made an effort to take games that are popular and good, and their first party games perpetually stay on there. But that also includes things like some of their new studios like Bethesda.
Yeah, some of the stuff they now own. No, I don't. Control's a weird subject because Control to me is kind of like in the same vein as Crysis, where it's just like one of those benchmark games that like everybody's just like it. It kind of seems to be like that game that people are like a lot of companies are testing out for like the cloud gaming as well. It's like that's like the only game I've seen where like you can play Control on the cloud now and all this stuff. So it's just like because we had a conversation about that too when it was on the Switch. And stuff like that. So it's like it's one of those games where it's like, well, that doesn't surprise me that it's not going anywhere. It's the smaller games, like the smaller like indie games that you can fall in love with, like a game like Blasphemous or Hyper Light Drifter, stuff like that. Which I don't even know if those are on the store or not like that. But like games that you would never know about, find, and they're just like, all right, cool, bye. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I guess on Xbox Game Pass, I would say like Pillars of Eternity has been one that's been a staple that's been on there. That one's put out by Obsidian. That came out in February, and I know that one is going to continue to stay on there for quite a while because that is like one of those like indie gems that a lot of people, and it's not Obsidian's not necessarily indie, but it's one of those like it's not a mainstream. Yeah, it's not like one of those mainstreams, right? Like,
sure, it's not a AAA.
Yeah. The Ascent, I think, is one of the biggest unknown gems in Xbox Game Pass. It's kind of like a cyberpunk type, like Doom. It's pretty sweet. I really like his, AR
like first person combat action.
Yeah,
type of thing.
It's basically it's ARPG, right? So it's your typical ARPG set in the cyberpunk world that is just really, really freaking fun, right? So yeah, and I can name so many other games, and I won't, that have been here for quite a while that are just they're just great games. And one of the things that I think about Game Pass, and I think going back to my first comments starting this topic, is I'm actually really shocked and surprised that Nintendo just doesn't want to have anything to do with this.
Man, that doesn't surprise me at all. At all. I mean, like,
how are they going to get any of these kinds of AAA games? They're not going to, like, developers are not going to do what Control did and develop this cloud application and platform to run it straight off the cloud. They're not going to do that.
No, not yet, at least. But it's Nintendo. Just like they're like that alcoholic uncle, where they're well-meaning. Everyone. They show up at your birthday. You have a good time with them, but then like you see them like drinking too much. And you're just like, you could just not. Yeah. And but you just don't understand because you're not in that mindset. But like they get in their own way a lot. Nintendo is just so insular. They do not want to mess with anything else outside of Nintendo. They've always been that company that's just like, we want direct control over literally fucking everything that has to do with this game, its distribution, its marketing, everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, if you remember back in the day, back in the NES days, I mean, they were so fucking intertwined with it. Like, you developers, I mean, they legitimately censored games to go on their systems. You know, you couldn't do certain things. They would only allow a certain amount of chips to go out per developer. I mean, you can only do so many things per year. It was insane. And I mean, that was, kind of why some of them tried to branch out. There was a big lawsuit against their EEPROM chips to basically break Nintendo's stranglehold over the industry. I actually went to court. I can't remember if they won or lost. I think they lost. But one of these days I'm going to look it up. But yeah, I don't know. It's like they've historically just been very bad about online content. They definitely bring games into their stores, into their virtual store a lot. I mean, like a ton of older games, like they just brought in like Jedi Outcast and stuff, like a couple years. But
right, as you joke about all the time, the Nintendo Switch played 10 years ago games today.
Go outside like it's 2007. It's just like it's strange. I've never understood Nintendo's stance on like the virtual console. I don't like their current move with not having essentially a virtual console for like all their older games and just having it be a subscription service. I think that's kind of bullshit. Especially for the N64 version, where it's just like, hey, it's like 70-ish or $150 a year or something like that. It's something like that, but it's just like, yeah, but like I already own those games.
I refuse to get it. I refuse to give them more money. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, just put that shit out there. You would bring more people to it. It's so strange how people look at profit margins and everything. And it's just like you can bring in so much more if you give a little away. It doesn't, and not everything needs to be fucking categorized and, brought into profit. But I don't know. They've always been historically bad. PlayStation also better than Nintendo, of course, but still kind of wonky. I think Microsoft is the only one that's kind of like really gotten it at this point. I mean, they're going to be fine. It's only going to get better, I think. And I'm kind of interested to see if Game Pass actually evolves a little bit. Does it turn into a service that tries to compete with Steam and Epic at a certain point? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I think though you can't compete with Steam. Steam has got the PC market.
For sure, it does.
I think
Microsoft is the PC market too.
Agreed. I think though they don't have a controlling space in the PC gaming space. Mm-hmm. I don't think they don't have a good piece of that. And honestly, I don't think they care to. That's not what I see them doing. What I see them doing right now is making it available to play on your phone. Make it available to play on your tablet. Make it available to this next system that we're going to, without talking about too much, we're going to have a system here we're going to review soon. That, these handheld system era right now can play the Game Pass directly on there. So I think the more widely available Game Pass gets, at some point, I don't think it's going to matter who made the device, whether it's Nintendo or PlayStation or whoever.
Yeah.
Somehow you're going to find a way to play it on the device that you're playing. I've seen people on the browser in PlayStation 5 log into Xbox Game Pass.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, and to be realistic about it too, I think that probably the next evolution of Game Pass would be, okay, same service, except now we're streaming games.
Yep.
I think that would probably be, when that happens, you definitely have my attention. You know.
So I've been so obviously cloud gaming for Xbox Game Pass is still in beta,
Sure.
and rightfully so, because there are some it still has some issues, so to speak.
Well, yeah.
However, what I could tell you is it's been improving, even just this year, like from January until today. Like every once in a while I'll go on and I'll play Cyberpunk on not Cyberpunk, sorry, Skyrim on cloud gaming, and the improvements in the bandwidth and what they're doing is greatly improved just using the last couple of months.
Sure.
One of my favorite things is being able to, take my Xbox controller and, connect it as a Bluetooth device on my iPad, and it's like, boom, it just works.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember when the Xbox controller first came out? I was like holding a fucking pineapple.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm like so pleasantly surprised at like how comfortable modern Xbox controllers are in my hand. Off topic completely, but I don't know. I was just thinking about that the other day, because it's like I always hated Xbox controllers, and then I'm just sitting here. I just played like 12 hours of Elden Ring, and I'm like, oh, this doesn't suck. Yeah. Anyway, they got a new controller.
I agree.
Yeah.
But like being able to like, so here, I'll say it this way, right? And I've only done it a couple of times, but like, I'm like, I want to go, sit with the wife on the couch, but I was like, watch what you want to watch, and I'll play a video game or whatever, and we'll just like, chill or whatever. So that's when I'll, pick up my controller and kind of check it out and test it out. And again, I'm very impressed with it. I think it's the future of gaming. And so much that it pains me to say that, because I am still very much a purist when it comes to video games. I like having that physical, tangible piece of game.
Sure.
I am slowly but surely resigning to the fact that really the future of AAA gaming, once they can fully figure out the cloud piece of it, it is going to be something like Game Pass.
Oh, for sure. And I think I have kind of walked away from physical copies of stuff a little bit easier than you have, because I'm more in the PC world. And that was kind of a hard sell for me when Steam came out, because I was just like, oh, I don't know. If I don't have these CDs, I mean, I don't really own this game. And, that was also back in the day, too, where it was just like, oh, man, I have 56K modem. And I got to download what with my what? And then granted, times have changed. Just downloaded 100 gigs the other day at like an hour and a half. I mean, it was insane. But I don't know. I'm not so much of a purist of being like, I need to have that game on a CD, in its box, because like even these days, like it ain't even worth it to get the boxes anymore, because it's not like you get those cool fucking instruction manuals, where it's like, you remember being a kid and driving home, and you like I remember like getting Zelda and like opening it up on the car ride home and just like reading the instructions and seeing all the illustrations and shit. It was a thick book. Like I remember getting StarCraft, and it was like a thick fucking book with all this artwork, and they're explaining all the lore, and it's like, wow, this is so cool. You open up a game these days and it's just like, here's the game. That's it. It's just like, download a PDF if you want to see the instructions. I'm like, I couldn't be fucked with that, because you're going to handhold me through this entire game anyway. So what's the point? But so I'm a little bit more divorced from that in the first place. There is something cool about getting a box, but at the same time too, I'm just like, I don't give a shit. It's just in all honesty, for me, the fact where it's just like, it's just not permanent. Like if I'm going to install a game, I want that game to stay there. I don't want to lose access to it or whatnot. That's the only thing that holds me back from that.
But I mean, you could run into that with Steam too.
I could, but I've had Steam since it came out. I've probably got one of those accounts that's pretty much worth it, because it's got like one of the lowest account numbers because it was like, I mean, I got on that shit as fast as possible. Don't hack me. And but I mean, I've never lost anything, doesn't mean it can't happen. Of course, it truly does not. But I mean, it's the same as like you're hooked up to an MMO server. It's just like, look, is something going to shut down? Yes. Has WoW ever shut down? No. It's like there's certain things I don't worry about. Will it stop eventually? Yes. Is it any time in the future? Not even close. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I guess so. So
it's just that semi-permanence.
Yeah. I mean, so here's the other thing too that I think about is now, let's just say the game goes off of Game Pass and it's like, 9 months to a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Typically like 9 months to a year, a game will devalue itself, down to
sure.
$29.99 or $19.99, sometimes $9.99, right?
Steam flash sale, $5.
Exactly. And so the way that I see it is Xbox Game Pass could also be looked at as a stopgap to not pay a bunch of money up front to get the games that you want to play them at a rental price, basically. Mm-hmm. And then if you find out that you like the game, you could go buy it for a discounted price when it's, been out for a year. Or if you don't like the game, guess what? You don't have to you don't have to resell it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't resell games.
Well, people do, but
I know. But I'm just saying that shit's in my box. It's in my box, and it ain't going nowhere. I'll hold on to it till I die.
But I mean, you get my point, though, right?
I do.
And so I think overall, what I'm getting at here is I think there's actually more value in Game Pass than ever before. Not just because of the numbers, but just what it enables the masses to consume for an extended period of time without having to pay that premium price of $70. Think about this. Games are going up to $70 a game.
Yeah, they ain't cheap, especially for digital copies.
So with that in mind, like that just it's just more of an incentive, and it's an interesting topic in my perspective.
No, and it is. It's one of those things that we're just gonna have to watch. Over the coming years, we'll watch their career with great excitement. But I don't know. One of these days I'll probably jump onto it. But it's just like every single time I look at all the games on the list, I'm just like, yeah, I mean, like, I've never played it, but I don't really want to play it right now either. And it's just like I don't see enough games where I'm just like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to do that. It's just like, yeah, okay,
But there might be gems out there that you're like, I don't know that game, that you might end up liking.
I understand that, but I'm a crotchety old man at this point.
Thanks for listening to our most recent episode of Uneducated Gamers. You can go to Galaxy Game TV to post comments on each of our episodes, or if you have a question or a topic you would like us to include in an episode, feel free to leave a comment. Until next week, we bid you farewell.